YouTube family, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can tell by the title, today we are going to talk about the houses, which is really exciting. If you've been following along, we've already talked about the planets and the signs, so if you have not watched those and you're new to astrology, definitely check those out first. That will help this make so much sense. Okay, it's also fun to play along, pull up your birth chart, see what you got going on. Okay, so the houses provide context for the planets and the zodiac signs. Where in our actual lives these play out? What aspect of our lives is the sun going to be shining? What aspect of my life is this Libra gonna be Libra in? You know what I mean? These are whole sign houses, by the way. So first, we're going to start with the first house. Your first house symbolizes your active and affirming self. This is your physical body, your character, your mind, your very conscious self. This is where your soul enters your body. This is the start of your charts, the ascending, right? It's all things that are very relevant to your life and that might kind of, not everyday things, but very important things. It's kind of the unfolding of fate. Next is the second house. The second house is our possessions, material, money possessions, our relationship with material things. The second house is also tied to our self-worth and our values. How do we value certain things in our lives, and what things do we place importance on? Second house can kind of be known as the gate of needs, right? What are the things that you need in your everyday life, that you desire in your life? What things are you putting effort towards, and how do you put effort towards things, especially monetary, material things? Second house could also talk about how you nourish yourself and how you provide for yourself. Now let's talk about the third house. Third house is, I say, the house of connection, really, one of them. Third house can talk about your family and how you connect with your family. It can talk about your everyday, mundane, kind of boring routine, but necessary routine. It can talk about short-term travel and, it can talk about the supporters you have in your family and around your family. So kind of like your family and your chosen family. And it can also talk about elementary school education, primary school education, those kind of things. Hey boy. Next we have the fourth house, which talks about similar things. Talks about childhood. It talks about what you get and inherit and receive and learn from your family. Fourth house really talks about things that are pretty private, so these are the things that we keep to ourselves, maybe on purpose. It's our foundational experiences, our anchoring experiences. Another word that could be used to describe the fourth house is primitive, so things that come inherently and natural to us, primitive to us. Next up is the fifth house. Fifth house is about good fortune. It's about the legacy that you can and will leave behind. Nice sweet boy. If you guys can just appreciate this sweet boy just for a second. Okay, thank you. So like I said, fifth house is good fortune. It's kind of like the pleasurable things in life. Sex, our children, creativity, fertility. It's not always directly you, but also how you enjoy yourself and how you express yourself with others. Whether it be personal or physically, how you keep up with yourself and express yourself, those kind of things. On the other side of that coin is the sixth house. Sixth house is kind of the least pleasurable things in life, kind of the bad fortunes. It's kind of what you go through to get the things you really desire and you really want. This could talk about illness and injury as well. So looking at your sixth house can definitely tell you what your life experiences with that might be. House also talks about coworkers and employees, the relationships that you might have there and the experiences that you might have there as well. Next we have the seventh house. So the sixth house is like all the dumb things, not dumb, but all the unpleasurable things that you go through to get to this seventh house. Seventh house is like the settling place. It's where you get comfortable. It's finding either finding your type or figuring out your type, the people who you really attract. It could also talk about your opponents, the people who you should stay away from or who would be in your best interest to stay away from. This is because the 7th house talks about the blending of yourself with others, how that happens, and in what ways it's most beneficial for those things to happen, and what ways it can be harmful to yourself or to others. Think of opposites attract. You will definitely figure that out in the 7th house. Next is 8th house. 8th house is kind of fun. Your 8th house is kind of your idle stage. So this is, and when I said fun, I meant interesting, not fun. This is where you might see loans, things about loans pop up, debt, credit, power, your inheritance. It could talk about death as well, the occult. Definitely talks about what you receive from partners, either short-term or long-term. It's a lot about, it tells a lot about what you receive and how difficult it may be for you to receive or give. This could be, like I said, loans, money-wise, inheritance, even give and take in a relationship. Next is 9th house. 9th house is known as the house of God or gods. It's religion, it's philosophy, it's overthinking a little bit. And not necessarily, but it's enhanced thinking. It's master's degrees, higher education, spiritual education. The 9th house is about culture, right? Exploring culture, experiencing different cultures. If you have a lot of planets in the 9th house, you probably want to speak different languages, you want to travel, you enjoy learning about other cultures and becoming a part of them. So it's about mental exploration as well as physical exploration. Next up is the 10th house. 10th house talks about value in a different way than the 2nd house. 10th house is our reputation, okay? This is how we may want to be valued, how we want to be seen. It's our reputation, our career. The 10th house is kind of what you're known for, your reputation, your career. It's like deliberate expression, deliberate curation of you. It's also the things that are very visible and attention getting in our lives. So look there if you're looking to, say, grow an audience. That would be a great way to figure out how you can do that best for you. Next is the 11th house. Almost done. The 11th house is about, it's almost like good faith, good spirits. When you think of the 11th house, you can think of Jupiter, so very expansive and very enjoyable. 11th house can also talk about marketing, marketing yourself or marketing others. So looking at this 10th and 11th house together, really good if you're a business person. 11th house is very social, very positive, very, like I said, very enjoyable. It will show you where you have many supporters and advocators in your life and where you may be a supporter or an advocate as well. Last but not least, the 12th house, kind of the other side of that coin, ending on an interesting note, but 12th house is kind of the bad spirits. Not like that, but you'll see. This is kind of the place in between real and not. Very mysterious, very hidden, secretive kind of. It's about wild animals. It's about backstabbers. It's a very intense, primitive energy. Like, it's the roar versus the purr. This could also talk about spiritual practices, but not so much the exploration of them or the wonder of them, more so the practicality of them and how you actually practice these spiritual practices. Almost done. So the 12th house really talks about those deeper cutting things. So it could talk about our mental health, mental illnesses, what we actually see as our personal discomforts and personal hells in our lives. Okay, so a deep way to end. Everybody okay? There are also other things that we can talk about, such as the ascendant, descendant, the midheaven, transits, progressions. There's a lot of other things in astrology that can be talked about, definitely, but we can save that for another video, of course. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe. please make sure to comment, okay? But liking really helps. Liking really helps. So if nothing else, definitely give this video a like and share it with someone that you think needs to learn a little bit more about themselves. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye.